Super excited to be here today. Thanks for inviting me.
Fabiola, I'd like to start asking you to introduce Secfix and sharing a little bit about the journey of the company and the problems that you are trying to solve, the market. So, at first context about Secfix for the audience, please.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for those who don't know me, I'm Fabiola, co-founder and CEO of Secfix. We are the European security and compliance automation platform. So what we do is that we help companies get certified or compliant with standards such as ISO 27001, NIS2, GDPR, uh, ISO 42001, the UA Act, and other frameworks as well. And we try to make sure the journey as easy and also fast as possible. So normally, let's say a company normally would take 18 to 24 months to get compliant with a certification. And normally they need to have a lot of spreadsheets, documents, and everything is scattered all over the place. But with Secfix, basically, we've been able to automate all of this by connecting with their tech stack and making sure that they have exactly the roadmap that they need to get certified, but also to maintain the certification over the years. And so yeah, that's basically what we do. We're based in Munich, Berlin, and UK. I have got hundreds of customers in over 15 European countries and growing a lot as well.
The company is based in Germany, right? And you are from Latin America. Can you share a little bit about your personal history about coming from Latin America to Europe and the decision to start in this entrepreneurship venture?
Yeah, sure. It's actually very exciting because, yeah, I'm actually from El Salvador. I've been in Germany already for 13 years. And how I actually came here was because I wanted to study in Germany. And then I went to the Technical University of Munich, which is a very entrepreneurial university. And there I realized that, I wanted to, before I go into like a very corporate job, I actually wanted to try out to start my own company first and see if that's what I wanted to do in life. And yeah, that's actually how we came up with building a company in the cybersecurity space. We tried different things in the beginning, obviously, as a lot of people do. But after, having customers, especially we were in like in the penetration testing field where companies were asking us for basically checking if they're secure, if we would hack them, what would happen. And we realized that a lot of them were asking for these ISO 27001 certifications, especially because they needed it for bigger deals. And yeah, that's actually how we came up with building Secfix. Specifically, a customer said like, hey, if I don't do this, I will lose a very big deal with a bank. And we decided to, that's why I started the whole thing as well.
So the sweet spot for you in terms of customers are startups or small companies that need to sell to big, more regulated or with bigger compliance organization, right? That's the
Yeah, actually, like we started with startups and SMBs, and now we've been able to expand it to also bigger customers as well. So, especially in the mid market sector. So, we have like enterprise customers or groups that have their own subsidiaries that need to get certified first. And we help those subsidiaries to start their journey, and then we start to grow into the groups. But yeah, we serve different customers as well. And especially for us, like the most important thing is that it's simple and easy for a smaller company to get through this whole, complexity of certifications.
yeah. And Fabiola, about investors. So during the lifetime of SecFix and what rounds have you experienced in terms of new investors on board? And can you share a little bit about the challenges for get that and your lessons learned as well?
Yeah, sure. So we recently raised our Series A round of 12 million. That was in January of this year. Very exciting times for us right now. We are always obviously right now going to building the team, distributing our product in the DACH region and also growing more in the European region as well. Before that, we also raised a seed round, was like 2.5 years ago, of 3.6 million. And actually, this is how our journey starts. We raised a seed round, then we went for the Series A. I would say in terms of challenges, obviously depending on the stage that everyone is in, there are different challenges. Like for example, in the seed round, it was more about understanding, like the investors wanted to see traction, early traction. So we had a handful of customers, had also, some like basically a good version of the product that we could already sell. They also wanted to see if our customers would stay longer, this kind of things. That was actually one of the main directions that they were going for. So trying to get those first customers was a challenge, but once you get the first one, it gets easier and easier to get the next ones as well. And then in the Series A round, which is something that I've learned as well, they also already wanted to see a more established company. So they're not in the seed round, they were a bit more, a little bit easier with in terms of KPIs and things that you have and the structure that you've built. But for the Series A, you need to already show that you have very good traction, that you've been able to establish a good team, that things are running without you. Going from that founder-led motion to a more scalable go-to-market motion was very crucial for them. And knowing that I, as Fabiola, am not involved in sales or customer success and into every single deal, but rather that I have a team behind it, and even if I'm not there, the company can run for itself. So setting that structure for the Series A was actually the biggest challenge, because you need to first let things go. You cannot be a founder, hands-on founder forever. So I obviously wanted to be in every single sales call, but then I realized that's not scalable. So I needed to start delegating to the team, hiring the right people. And then in the end, the other challenge is how to get everything that runs smoothly while you're fundraising, and that your company is still bringing results, because this is actually something that the Series A fund investors look at as well. That when you're fundraising as a CEO, you're probably focused 100% on fundraising, but they want to see if the CEO is fundraising, is the company still gaining traction? Are they growing? And also, how fast are they growing? And that was actually like very difficult to get the setup ready. But once we did it, then I went fundraising, and we had actually the best quarter of the year while I was fundraising, which was actually very exciting for us as well.
Yeah, nice. And you said that you have customers different several countries. I think that most of them in Europe, or the majority in Europe. And for this Series A investors, Fabiola, they are pushing you to expand globally, I think, and have plans to sell export out of Europe, like US, Latin America, Asia. And is the product ready for those regions, or you need to adapt a lot of things internally or also in the product to make that sellable for those regions?
Yeah, so we actually have some customers in Latin America, especially in Chile. Is actually a good market that we started to test out things, just to get a sense of what they need. Especially there's a lot of companies in Chile that like to sell to European companies as well. We haven't tested it out in Brazil yet, but it would be one of the markets that we would say it's very interesting as well, because also cybersecurity there is very active. In terms of what you actually need to be able to bring it to the next level and to make it more global, you need to have more local support. That's very important. And at the same time, you need to, like, the platform and the standard and every, like, ISO 27001 standard is international, and you can use it as it is already, no matter which country you are. But in terms of bringing that extra experience to the customers, that they feel it is individualized for them, requires more than just having a platform. It requires having the local support. It requires having the sales power as well. And this is actually some of the things that we need to consider before moving into the next market. So for now, the next step is to grow as keep growing as the European leader in compliance, and especially like being that very big brand in the DACH region. But also we have plans to go to grow this globally as well. And Latin America is definitely one of the markets that we're looking into, and also Asia as well. They have surprisingly a lot of markets there have requested requests for ISO 27001 certifications as well.
Or you may also find new types of certifications
Yeah,
in other countries that you may develop.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple of them that we've seen in Latin America that are very similar to GDPR, for example,
Yes.
but they have a couple of different requirements.
Yeah. And in terms of product roadmap, Fabiola, so we are seeing new technologies emerging, AI, and how is that affecting Secfix and your roadmap for the future?
Yeah. It's actually one of the main questions that we always got during the funding round. And there's like two phases, I would say. That the very exciting and innovative phase is that you can build a very customized product and scale it better. Before the AI era, it was actually very difficult to sell to bigger customers, right? But now with AI, everything gets easier. You can customize policies for them. You can create specific workflows that they want to have. If they request like security questionnaire, it's easier to develop that according to their needs. So we're definitely investing, especially with the Series A round, a lot into the AI features that we're going to develop or that we have already in place. And the other phase is obviously the regulations as well. So there's a lot of regulations happening especially in Europe, like the EU AI Act. There's also even a certification now for AI, which is the ISO 42001. So for all of these regulations, it's something that we can offer additionally, and not only focus on primarily ISO 27001 or information security, but go into that also niche of making sure that companies are complying with all of the things that are required to keep your data secure for when you're using AI tools. And this is actually like in Europe already a very something that is becoming very strict because all of the companies are now using these tools, and everyone who is using those tools will need to comply with this kind of standards as well.
It's it's hard because you need to adapt, but it's you need to decide very wisely what you do. Like it's
Yeah,
to not get into the hype and waste money and time.
yeah, yeah.
And Fabiola, about the traction that just one question that I would like to ask. So I remember that when we worked together, when I used the Secfix a few years ago, we had like the setup fee or the first fee to to launch the product and also develop the policies, whatever is needed for get certification first. And then we get that fee or subscription fee going forward to keep those things running. And so, and I see that you may face situations where the customers are just willing to pay for getting the certification, then it's not allowing to pay anymore. And how hard is to manage that situation? Because at the end, you need the recurring revenue. So it's important for you. So how do you deal with that situation and manage to convince the customer that, okay, it's important to keep the product running because you need this, and that. So how do you make that clear for them?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's very nice to look back, first of all, to talk to you because you were one of their first users or customers at SecFix. So just coming back to pretty much 3.5 years from now, how much it has actually changed. But yeah, one of the main things that it's important for building recurring revenue, which we've been able to do it, I would say in a very clean and successful way, is to make sure to understand how you can give more than just certification to the customers. So they're gonna start with their ISO 27001 journey, but the main driver for them is not that they want to get certified for ISO. It's actually that they want to close more enterprise deals and they want to be shown as a professional company and as a trusted partner for their customers as well, right? So from the business goals perspective, what we try to always praise is that we are there to help them along their journey to grow as a company and to grow their revenue, and being that like revenue enabler. So it goes beyond than just, okay, I got certified and that's it. We always try to understand, okay, is there a specific need that you need to, I don't know, like once you finish ISO certification, what's going to happen next? Do you need actually other frameworks? Are you actually going into expanding in a different country? And you will need other regulations. So what we've been able to develop as a platform is not only focus on ISO, but rather building like this unified solution that can integrate all of their compliance frameworks, but at the same time, they can use it as well for their day-to-day business, making sure that they're secure, that we can monitor. They can monitor everything they need in the platform, and if there's any issue with their cloud or I don't know, Office 365 Google Workspace, that they can have that monitoring system. So I would say that's actually one of the main things that we did to be able to create a very sustainable way of building ARR. And on the other hand, just talking to the customers, we talked a lot to you in the beginning. We asked you for a lot of product feedback, and the same we do still with all of our customers. We ask them for feedback. Ask them what are the things that are right now needing for the platform, what is like super urgent, what is less urgent. And from there, we develop our product roadmap as well. And yeah, the more they feel that they're getting a use out of the platform, then the more they would like to stay with us.
Yeah, it's interesting because I always say that the ISO certification is not a goal by itself. So it's one thing, but at the end, for me, it's a sign that the company that has that certification has more efficiency than the other, because the operations is well organized with right governance or accountability. It's a sign of a lot of other things that are important. If you keep that, you perform better at the end. That's what I personally how I see that. And Fabiola, that this scenario that we see today is not new. This year it's special in terms of conflict, geopolitics, and on the global perspective. How that affect Secfix in terms of company, the management of the company, your 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 cash flow, for example, or also the leads that you have. So you see like people are willing to invest more in that type of product because the situation is more risky, or it's don't see so many difference compared to previous years, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. So it definitely always changes in terms of in it always depends on the geopolitical situation. One of the things why I went in the very beginning into why I was interested in the cybersecurity industry is because I made a bet that cybersecurity is something that is not going to go away. It's actually something that is going to stay in every company, and it's going to get more and more because we're becoming more digitalized. We have like more tools now. AI is coming into play. So I knew this was an industry where I saw a lot of growth potential in terms of like specific cases, like for example, when there were like the tariffs as well that were coming up, that obviously benefited us because we are based in Europe, and a lot of the European companies wanted to buy from European tools. So that was actually one of the things that, basically benefit we were able to get a benefit from. On the other hand, I feel that it's just like cybersecurity in terms of how companies are starting to think about has shifted from this is a cost driver to more this revenue enabler, as I mentioned to you. So when a lot of companies are working globally, they do want to invest a lot of it, a lot of this on it. And especially because in Europe it's regulated by different laws or geopolitical requirements. Like for example, in GDPR is very strict in Europe as well, and a lot of companies need to comply with it. It makes it more attractive for them to invest or to partner up with an European player. And that's actually what our bet was from the beginning. And yeah, that's why our strategy was built on that as well, that we are this European player for security and compliance, and we can be seen as this brand that is premium and a partner for them that will stay there for the long run. Yeah, I mean, overall, very nice to be chatting about this and the beginnings of Secfix, how we've been able to evolve as a company. And maybe just two things. One tip is to, if anyone out there is like starting their own company, just always think about talking to users. That's actually my one advice that I would give to someone. Just talk to your users, try to understand what are their needs, so it will be easier for you to focus on. So don't try to solve something that you don't know yet how to solve it. And then from the other hand, also we're hiring. You can go to our careers page, check out our job posts there. We're a 100% remote company. We prefer to work from European time zone, but from time to time we also allow people to work from all around the world. So feel free to check it out, and happy to see your applications.